Welcome, Jannie Putter. Thank you for joining us on a Saturday, um, for your time and, like you said, your family time. Can you give us a little bit of a background about what are you doing, where you come from, what you've achieved?
Thank you, Juan. It's great to chat with you, even if it's on a Saturday. Nowadays, every day is like a Saturday. Seems like it. Concerning my background, I was born in Potchefstroom. I had the privilege of studying at the University of Potchefstroom for 9 years because my father was a professor there. He was actually head of the Department of Human Movement Science. So I grew up in the halls of the university. Um, but lots of stuff happened in my life. I lost track many years. Um, most important about my life, about my own sporting career, I had the privilege of playing provincial rugby for 7 years. I was a provincial athlete. I played tennis. I grew up in a family where we just did so much sport. Um, from 26 till 2010, I was the mental coach of the Blue Bulls rugby team. And in those 5 years, we have won the Super 14 or the Super Rugby Trophy 3 times. Um, from 2015, I worked, Johan Ackerman phoned me and I started working with the Lions just after the Super 14 in, in 2015. And we went on to win the Currie Cup that year without losing a match. So I started working with them, and I worked with them for 5 years as well. It looks like there's a season about 5 years in top sport that you can
Yeah,
live and then move on.
yeah,
Um, and I'm an author. I'm writing books. I work as motivational speaker. I practice as a mental coach, not only with sports people. I work with businesses, companies, and that's my life in short.
okay,
Messed
all
up,
right.
but I got saved.
Yeah. That. All right, Jannie. And with your background that you told us about now, who is the coach or the person who made the biggest impact on your life?
Johan, there's many people that have an impact on your life, but surely today, as I sit here and you ask me that question, my parents got divorced. So usually it's your parents that got the biggest influence on somebody's life. But when your life is missing them and you've got um, not bad memories, circumstances just changed. The next most important person in your life becomes a coach or a teacher. I've got no doubt about that because those people influence your thinking.
Yeah,
In my life, I had a couple of them, especially a grade one teacher that she just saw something in me, and I saw myself as not really good. She saw something good in me, and she just brought out the best in me. But that was in grade one. In high school, I had a rugby coach who became my hero, especially when my parents got divorced. I was looking for somebody that I needed to be responsible to,
yeah,
and he became that person. He himself played provincial rugby, and I changed my position of playing rugby to his position because I just idolized him.
yeah.
And eventually, I had success in that position. And then at university, I had a lecturer, and he was my rugby coach. And he introduced me to the subject of sports psychology because, and his name is Percy de Toey, and he had a dramatic impact upon my experience of life and of people and my potential in terms of sport, because I was not the biggest player. The seed that's been sown in my mind many years, that was I was too small to play rugby. He just defied that thought, and he taught me differently, and I believed differently, and it worked out. So he really
Okay,
had a tremendous impact on my life.
okay. Yeah, there's quite a perception about you're too small, especially in the game of rugby, that you're too small for it. But I mean, it's so adaptable sport that anyone can fit in at some point in a team. All right, so talking about your background, what you just said is that your best childhood. What is your best childhood memory in sport?
In sport, sure. At primary school, it was just having friends. I was not my performances didn't matter. It was just making friends. So in primary school, I can't really remember a best memory except friendships and being part of a group of people who love excellence. And in high school, probably my best memory was being selected for the Crane Week team in grade 11, because it was against all odds, against all the uh, uh, newspaper guys who had somebody else in mind, and eventually I made the team. And then I must say, my first 800 meter that I ran under 2 minutes, that was probably one of the best memories that I can remember concerning my sport career as a child.
Okay. Well, how old were you when you ran a sub 2-minute 800 meter?
I was in grade 11,
Okay.
and I was actually running 400 meters hurdles, and I practiced for that, and we came to Germiston Village, and then there were only 2 athletes running the 400 meter hurdles, and my coach said to me, "Okay, you're not going to run today, but you're going to have a practice session, and I'm going to enroll you in the 800 meters, so run it." And I had no idea how to run it, and it was magic. And from there on, it became my item, because I just didn't know what my ignorance probably caused me to fight, because that was absolutely scary.
Okay. Jannie, how much value do you put on support from friends and family in a child's life and sport?
Johan, I'm going to be honest. As a child, it was more important what my friends and my coach thought of me. Perhaps because my home was different. I don't come from I come from a very normal home. I've got an amazing father and mother, and I love them to bits up till today. Yet my parents got divorced, and there was fights and stuff concerning all these issues. So that to me wasn't that important, because my father was not present at all my games and stuff. So to me personally, and I know this is different for everybody, but to me personally, it was to belong to a group of friends. And my friendships and my meaningfulness amongst my friends probably was more important, because I lost my way and I was looking for identity. And my sport gave me a very serious form of identity and meaningfulness. So it gave me a sense of belonging and importance. So sport had a tremendous effect upon my life as a child, especially because I come from a home where my parents got divorced and there was a lot of trouble in my home.
Okay. All right. So the support, I mean, from the friends, and in a way, family in a way, I mean, it plays a big role. It can be
Absolutely.
Can be negative sometimes, but it obviously plays a big role in our lives.
Yeah, I must be honest. I think I was lucky that my parents was not that involved in my sport, because nowadays, as I work with children, I see many parents are so involved that they become the source of total fear of failure amongst many children, because the children want to please their parents so much that they can't be free. I was free. And I honestly believe, because I was free of that pressure, my sense of importance among my friends was more important to me. So I was free from the pressure of my parents, because they loved me, but they didn't push me anywhere. I had to push myself.
Okay. All right. So talking about childhood memories and influences of people and friends and family, what was the most definitive moment in your sporting career or even your business career?
Johan, I'm going to be honest. It's very, very personal, that decisive moment in my life. So I'm not going to. It's a memory in my life. It caused me to make a decision to stop my rugby career. In a sense, it was dramatic. I had some people speaking into my life, so I had to make a decision, short term or long term. And if you choose long term, sometimes you sacrifice a lot of things on short term, and fame and being popular in that moment. So I had such a moment in my life, but that's a long story and very personal. And many people might say, "Oh, you're one of those wishful thinkers," but that was really my life. So I had to make peace to let go about my own dream in terms of sport,
Yeah.
and realize my season is over. The season was not going to continue, and it was tough. It was a tough decision to know that your season, your frame, your window of opportunity is
Mm.
closing, and
Yeah.
you've got to move on. And your identity you can't live in the identity of what you could have been. You've got to create something for your future.
The short-term
And
identity.
I had, yes, and I had amazing mentors speaking into my life at that stage, and I took their advice. And today I look back and I say, praise God, because um, short-term decisions
Yeah.
is very short-term. That's it.
That's right. Yeah.
But
Well,
long-term
it's
decisions
like you say,
is
it's
wisdom.
your definitive moment, although, whatever it was, is that you could sit down, you could make a serious decision, and you could live a positive life from there. It doesn't need
For
to be.
sure, not. No, I don't believe that anything happens in life for a bad reason. It's growing you, even though it might be hurtful in that moment. It's growing you into becoming the person that you should be. So, definitive moments in my life, there's many
Yeah.
decisions that I had to make. Sometimes tough decisions that I had to make. My disappointments that I had, looking back, they were necessary for me to grow as a person. Because if I didn't have those disappointments, I would have been a spoiled brat and just have everything on my plate, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't amount to anything in any case.
Okay. Good. Jannie, what other sport do you follow, and why?
Oh, I'm a very keen golfer today, and I love the game of golf. Me and my wife both play golf, so golf to me is a fascinating game, one that you will never. It's a game that you will never master, although you can master moments.
Yeah.
Um, so I love the game of golf. I started playing it at university only, so I didn't know about it at school level. Um, I do follow football nowadays because I work with Orlando Pirates, and I never had a true understanding of the game of football or the skill. And I thought it was not such a big game, but since I started getting involved with Pirates 2 years ago, and understanding the game of football, and seeing the massive impact it had on society, and the legends of people and the true skills, because now I'm witnessing those skills and
Yeah.
stuff. It's fascinating. So I do love growing in my knowledge and understanding of football, and I love every moment. I'm a great fan of tennis. I love tennis. My sons, I come from a tennis family. Roger Federer, in my opinion, is one of the biggest influencers of society today because of the hero he became.
Yeah.
Rafael Nadal, Djokovic, Murray. Even though you don't like some of them, they have a massive impact on society. So tennis to me, I am not very familiar with motorsport, although I know there's lots of fans on motorsport. So but you've got to decide what you focus on, because there's so many sports that you do, that you can do, that you've got to really enjoy those that you choose.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay. Have you, now in this lockdown, have you learned any new life skill while you're in lockdown? And what is that skill?
for sure. Um, After the first week I call it time out. I don't like the term lockdown because it makes you think confined and limited. And so I just decided we're going to call it time out. So after a week of time out, I realized I can't wait for life to happen. And I've got to think about my future, because things can change quickly. Things can change slowly. I've got no idea. So I developed a skill, and I have to tell you, I'm loving every moment. I started with the mental toughness forum a month ago, 4 weeks ago, a week after it's a daily conversation of 30 minutes with people over a live platform. I started with live Zoom, but Zoom became too small because so many people joined in. So I had to go to a bigger platform. And at this moment, I'm doing it via YouTube Live. So it's a daily 2 sessions, one in English, one in Afrikaans. And I simply share ideas concerning mental toughness, and people from Australia, New Zealand, England,
All over.
Holland, all everybody is joining. So I learned the skill to master technology in a certain sense, because I'm not a technological equipped guy.
Okay.
I love writing, but I did with, and my short game developed as well. I built myself a 9-hole golf course here in my yard, a massive course.
That's a course.
First day I started, I said to my wife, first day I'm going to get myself some greens. I'm going to put in proper holes, and we don't know how long this is. And I promise you, this golf courses has increased my wife's and game tremendous.
Okay. During lockdown, what about normal life do you miss the most?
Golf.
Waking
up early, teeing off at 6:30 with my wife on the first tee on a golf course, and I had one spoiled day in a week where we did that, so I truly miss that.
Oh, okay. So, Jannie, how important is keeping a good state of health to you, and why?
It is non-negotiable, because the moment I work with people, I had the privilege of having a dad that showed me an example of a disciplined life, especially a physical disciplined life. He's now 84 and he still trains 3 times a week. He was heading a training group in Potchefstroom for about 59 years, where they train Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings, 6 o'clock till 20 to 7. So it was literally 40 minutes. But I was part of that for many, many years. And today, physical, healthy life is non-negotiable, because the moment you lose your health, it becomes the focus and the source of your life, because everything that you earn, you will put into getting back your health. So it's non-negotiable for me. To stay healthy is not a big effort. You don't have to belong to a gym. You don't have to look good. You don't have to buy expensive clothes. You can simply do very little every day and have a wealth that's beyond most people's understanding.
I spoke to a couple of days ago on this platform. I spoke to a 24 times world athletic champion, masters athletic champion, and she said to me, "Well, health is wealth," and I think that is basically what you're saying.
It's non-negotiable. I mean, you've got to be an idiot if you take this for granted and not invest in it, because a small investment will give you a massive return on experience of life.
Jannie, if you had the opportunity to speak to the whole of South Africa, what would your message be to us?
Be very excited, because we are living in history. We are part of history, and we're moving into a new norm. That's my feeling. I know that I don't expect life to ever be the same ever again, like going back to normal. I'm really looking forward to what's the new norm going to be, and how we're going to fit into it. And your mindset will determine what's coming, because life happens to all of us. How you see it, your own choice. But I'm very excited. It's going to be a more disciplined life. I surely sense that, and a more focused life. And that's what we all wished for. We all wished for time. Now we've got time, and now we suddenly have to find our families and live together again.
Okay. Jannie, what is your favorite non-South African meal?
I read that question that you wrote me on, and I thought to myself, if somebody asks me what's my favorite color, I say, I don't favor colors. I enjoy colors. I enjoy food. But if you have to ask me, I would probably say non-South African is Alfredo pasta. That's nice. And my favorite South African dish is obviously braai vleis, and I braai a lot.
That's a non-negotiable as
And
well.
potato,
Yeah,
yes, and the
yeah,
scallop choppy with lots of fat on it.
yeah. Jannie, what is your opinion of sport during the development of a child's life?
I honestly believe that if you don't have sport or if you don't have physical activity as part of your growing up, you miss out on a huge aspect of life. Because it's not the competition, it's learning to succeed, because all of us have different talents. Some of us have talents for words, some of us have talents for language, some of us have talent for art, some of us have talent for movement. But movement is part of the body's ability to grow. You grow through movement.
Yeah.
And if a child is not subject to movement when he's young, he loses out on a massive amount of experience. And life is not knowledge. Life is experience, where you can make decisions concerning what you experience. And therefore, I feel sorry if somebody doesn't have access to physical movement. It can be in any form. It can be climbing, it can be hitting a ball. If you don't have a ball, if you live in Africa and there's no ball, you play with sticks, you do anything. But movement ignites life in people.
I like that. I like that. Movement ignites life. I like that. What would you suggest to achieve and maintaining a good state of health? You talked about movement, and now you're growing older as an adult. How would you maintain that good health?
It's so easy, Johan. It's number one, you've got to decide whether it's important for you to be healthy or not. Unfortunately, most of us have a negative experience about exercise or physical movement, because from childhood, most coaches and teachers use physical training as a form of punishment, and therefore most children avoid it at all costs. I don't have that experience, because to me, movement gave me meaning. It gave me a form of significance. But to maintain good health is a very simple decision. It is not a lot. It is very little, but every day. And there's a secret to me concerning training is make sure that you always beat the exercise. Never let the exercise beat you, because if you do an exercise and it beats you, you've got to find an excuse not to do it tomorrow. And that's why most people never train. They don't continue a healthy lifestyle, because they think I've got to train so hard that I die. And that's the only thing training means. But that's the lie that most people step into. So to maintain a good lifestyle is a little bit every day, but make sure that you stop when you're still mastering the exercise. If you do 2 push-ups and you do them well, and then stop. But don't do 5, and at number 5, you look like a guy that's going to the chiropractic, and you don't behave quite well. Bike 2 and stop. Then you become better and you become a master.
Okay. All right. Jannie, what is your favorite junk food meal?
But I used to like the taste of Kentucky, although I think it's a very poor value for money buy. At this moment, I don't eat junk food. I have to tell you, I do enjoy a Steers burger every now and then. If I travel and I drive on the road, I'll have myself a Steers burger, because it tastes very, very nice, and I believe it's the healthiest of all the junks.
Okay. And what is your favorite healthy food meal?
My favorite?
Healthy food meal.
Healthy food meal. Braai vleis.
Well, we are South African. I mean, it is healthy. Braai vleis is always healthy. I agree with you. I can't
think about anything healthier than just a piece of meat.
Yeah, yeah. Jannie, you talked about what you're currently doing in your what you call timeout, the mental approach every day on YouTube. But what social media platform do you use the most or enjoy the most?
I can't tell. I'm enjoying it. I use one, and that's Facebook, because I had to learn to work with Facebook, because that social media is marketing.
Mm.
Um, so I'm very, very wary of it, because it can trap you into to getting you to spend so much time, because you can't stop reading the stories of people.
Mm.
So if I enjoy it, yes, I enjoy it, because I see good stuff and I see what people does. But I don't go on Facebook a lot. I post one post a week, and that's the Sunday evening where I post the mindset for the week.
Yeah.
And I enjoy getting some feedback from people and friends and
Yeah.
whatever. But I'm not a huge social media guy.
Social media fan. Okay. Do you have any other hobbies that we don't know of?
My whole life is hobbies. Everything I do, I love reading. I am a handyman. I love tools. I love, if you want to let me free, go take me to Builder's Warehouse, and I'll spend the whole day there just looking at tools, looking at obvious methods of fixing. I love fixing stuff. It
Okay.
fascinates me. My garden to me is a thrill. I wish I can have more time. At this moment, I mow my lawn twice a week, and I love every moment, because we play golf on it, obviously. Um, I love building stuff. I am. I would have been a great farmer if I
Okay.
had the next opportunity to be a farmer.
Okay. Have you been binge watching any television series or movies or anything?
Didn't get time. Um, I'm not a big TV guy. There was one program, MasterChef Australia, that we loved to watch. It was absolutely a fantastic moment for us as a family to spend together and to watch. So MasterChef Australia, to me, was one of the best programs I could watch, and then I got acquainted with the people, not personally, but on
Yeah.
this. So for us, it was great to watch it until the end. That ended a couple of weeks ago. We taped it, recorded it. I love watching NCIS, or yeah, that's a series that I would tape, and if I go and I want to spend time in front of television, I would put on
Okay.
a NCIS or CSI, yeah.
Okay. All right. In your view, being involved with the Bulls in the past and now with the Lions and also with the Orlando Pirates, what advice can you give to especially the younger kids, the school-going children that wants to become a professional sportsman? What advice can you give them about what professional sport is about?
Professional sport is not about talent. We all have talent. Obviously, if you don't have talent in a specific sport, you won't be interested in that much. But when you're interested in a sport, you obviously have talent, but talent doesn't take you to the top. Mental toughness and character will take you to the top, and you don't develop mental toughness and character in comfortable situations. That's when it's uncomfortable. It's in a time like this that those people who will make it will be distinguished from those people who give up. There's only one way to fail in life, and that's when you give up. If you refuse to give up, you will become a better person. Not necessarily, you will not necessarily be world champion in what you do, but you will be definitely a better person because of your willingness to sacrifice, pay the price, walk the walk, and be involved in a disciplined activity like sport.
Okay.
Because it's not about becoming the best, it's about becoming. Um, and that becoming will change your life in many, many different ways without you knowing it.
Okay. Um, on your website, you talk about people in leadership roles that there's a risk of burning out. If we apply that, the burnout of leadership positions, does that affect sports people as well?
For sure. The pressure that's being put on sports people and the expectations upon sports people is tremendous, because most people nowadays live as spectators of life, and they look at those people in the arena of life, and those are mostly the sports people.
Yeah.
And they are subject to a lot of criticism. And one of the most important things that any sports person should learn very early in his career is, do not lend your ear out to any critic at all times, because there are millions of them, and they feel extremely powerful when they can get somebody that's in the arena of life to doubt themselves. So be wary of listening to critics. Rather surround yourself with a team that believe in you and protect you from critics. Don't even go there. Don't go on social media. Don't fish for compliments, because you're gonna get 5 compliments, but one critic can kill a dream. One negative word is like poison that it kills you from the inside. So if you have a dream, I always say to people, if you don't have a dream, what's the purpose of life? But if you have a dream, make sure it's big, and then surround yourself with people who believe in you. And then if you take any advice from anybody, only take advice from people who made it. If you take advice from somebody who didn't make it, you are the fool.
Yeah. Okay. So also from what you are doing is mentorship at children. I mean, especially now, maybe more stress, anxiety, all those things that works in. How's the best way to address this through sport?
Johan, I honestly believe there's no quick fix. It's a way of thinking. That's why I have this mental toughness forum. It's been going now for 4 weeks, and the people ask, one of the people actually asked, so when do you stop doing this? And I said, do you ever stop eating? If you ever stop eating, you die.
Yeah.
Mental toughness, it's literally your mindset. Now, if you just, we're not going to have a long discussion about this right now, but your mindset is something you do every day. You don't do it today and then it lasts for a week, because when you wake up tomorrow morning, something is going to happen to you, or somebody's giving you some news, or you hear something and it influences your life. But if you have a mindset in the beginning of a day, that means a definite routine that you put in place, and it needs to be a strong one, because if it's a weak one, it's going to be washed away like nothing. So my advice against burnout is to get definite routines, not to avoid burnout, but to develop strong character and a strong mindset.
Amazing. Okay. Jannie, you're an inspirational speaker. Tell us a bit more. Where do you go? Where do you speak to?
Yes, Johan. Life has turned. I don't think you get credentials except personal experience in life. So every one of us has got personal experiences in life, and that caused me to think about life quite often. I'm married now for 27 years. My marriage was a disaster in the beginning, because I was misled by people. I was misled by myself. I was a victim of life. So my life personally had its way. And fortunately, I had some incredible people speaking into my life. And they inspired me in such a way that I said that that's what I want to do with somebody else. Because somebody spoke into my life about 24 years ago. I was 30 years old when somebody spoke into my life, and that person didn't know how much influence he had in my life, but I made the decision on a weekend to change my life forever. And from there on, I said, if somebody can do that with me, that's what I want to do with somebody, with other people. And that's why I started to do speaking. I don't like the term motivational speaker or inspirational speaker. If people ask me what I do, my work is I counsel, and I do give talks at companies. Last year, I worked with a mining company, and I addressed in a week's time over 5,000 people. And those people are working underground every day of their lives. And how do you give somebody like who's working underground, that's got this monotonous work every day, how do you give such a person hope for a better life, or hope for a meaningful life?
Yeah.
Because meaning, and so I work with companies. Currently, I'm working with a lot of companies on synergy. Synergy is the key to success in a team, and very few. That's what I experienced working with the Bulls and with the Lions. And after working with the Lions, I understand the concept of synergy so much better, because when I started working with them, they were the joke of the country, and everybody made jokes about the Lions, and they themselves had the mindset of a victim of the players that didn't get contracts from the other unions. And it changed like overnight. We just changed a mindset, and then the bodies followed. So the concept of synergy and understanding teamwork, because not one of us will ever make it alone to the top. We all need a team. And the synergy of a team pushes you through your ceiling. Talent will get you to your ceiling. Synergy will get you through your ceiling.
Okay.
And synergy is only developed in a team.
All right. Jannie, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Everyone, I'm going to also with the upload of our interview, I'm going to put your website on there, and all your contact details on there, so that people can make contact with you. And then your YouTube channel, you now live stream the
Toughness Forum. Yeah, we're starting again on Monday with the new week, because all the people ask whether we can continue with this. So go to my YouTube channel. It's Jannie Putter, and what do you call it? Submit yourself, or subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, and then you'll get, and it's half of 12 o'clock every day for half an hour with English speaking people, and 1 o'clock every day. It's live stream on YouTube, and you send an email to office@jannieputter.co.za, and my wife will send you the link just before the meeting starts.
All right, perfect. Jannie, we thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and all the best for you and your family. And don't break a window playing golf.
No, we don't. Our golf game has improved dramatically. We had one close moment, but from there on, I already hit 4 hole-in-ones in my on my own golf course. Yes.
Well, that's fantastic.
Thanks, Johan.
Thanks,
It was great chatting to you, and have a super Saturday.
Thank you too.